All right, the list that I keep going over in my head here. In fact, before we get started, Bo Horvat. Horvat for me, I'm going to put him on the list, put him at 26. I'm going to put him at 26 because there's going to be a lot of questions about why isn't Bo Horvat on the list. Horvat was great in the playoffs this year. I think Horvat has taken that next step. Now, do I think he's ever going to be an elite level center? Probably not elite level, but really, really solid showing by Horvat overall. And also on this, William Karlsson. So we'll consider that to be the honorable mentions, right? And then the best part is you can just pause after the end of this when I get up to 13, and if you don't think your center is going to show up, just draw it in permanent marker on your phone or on your computer. Draw the name right down here of your favorite center. And if it ruins your computer or your phone, just like Gary Bettman, now I'm sure he'll replace it. So yeah, those are the honorable mentions, Horvat and Karlsson. And it's tough because when you have a list of 26, you would think, well, that's plenty, right? It's going to be 27 now because you have Karlsson up there too. It's not. There's a lot of very good centers in the National Hockey League. And so coming up with a list of top 25 is difficult. And that's saying a lot because back last year I only did a top 15 list. 2018 I did a top 20 list. And now I'm doing 25, which has become 27. So, number 25 on the list. Brayden Schenn of the St. Louis Blues. The Blues lost in the first round this year, but Schenn was very dangerous. He's an excellent center. Do I anticipate Horvat passing him at some point? Probably. And with William Karlsson, he's a very strong forward, excellent first-line center. But again, there's 31 teams in the league, and so there's going to be teams in the league that do not have a center in my top 20, now 27 list, I guess. I'll just put 26 and then tied. Tie between Horvat and Karlsson, because why not? What's life without whimsy? Number 24. Pierre-Luc Dubois of the Columbus Blue Jackets. A lot of debate over the last, I'll say 2 years. 2 years that he's been pretty darn good. And obviously didn't make the list last year, didn't make the list the year before. So now he makes the list at number 24. I like Pierre-Luc Dubois. I think there's still that next level he can get to. I don't think he's got there yet. I think that he has games where he shows us how good he's going to be. But I don't think we've seen that consistently yet. So I have Dubois at number 24. He, of course, is a restricted free agent right now. We'll see how much money he ends up making. But he is a very solid center. Number 23. From the New York Islanders, Matthew Barzal. Matthew Barzal, excellent overall center for the New York Islanders, who, much like Dubois, I don't think we've seen the best of yet. I think with Barzal, we will see it. I think it's going to be very impressive when we get there, but we haven't seen it yet. So, Matthew Barzal, very, very solid player, and I haven't had him on the top the lists so far either. But again, anybody who's been a fan of the channel for any period of time, back in March, I saw the last Canucks game, which was against the Islanders. I'm very impressed with Barzal that whole game. So again, and it's one of those things where it's not just the points and the goals. Very, very impressive forward overall. Number 22. Number 22, we will go with, from the Washington Capitals, Nick Backstrom. So Nick Backstrom, I know the argument has had every now and then of him maybe being the product of Ovechkin. The argument can be made the other way as well. So Backstrom, who may very well at some point end up in the Hall of Fame, I have him at 22. Now, interestingly enough, I had him at 13 last year. I had him at 17 the year before that. So down to 22. And I think it's more of a statement of just how many good centers there are in the National Hockey League right now. I mean that. I think there are a lot of very good centers in the National Hockey League. Number 21. Yeah, I'm not set on this yet. So what I've got here is Kopitar goes up on the list at 21. I didn't have Kopitar listed last year, and I had him at 8 in 2018. He had a great year in 2018. Kopitar finishes just outside the top 20, showing just how strong the centers are in the NHL. So, again, I'm still going over this as I put the list up on the board. I'm still trying to figure, okay, so where would I put this guy? Oh, I guess I'll put him there. Because it is so... It's tough. I mean, I will own this list. I will own it when it's all done. But admittedly, this is a tough list to come up with. Kopitar, solid, strong as an ox. Doing very well this past year for a Kings team that wasn't very good. He had his cold streaks along the way as well, which everybody in LA did. But Kopitar is still an excellent center. So, again, for people who were mad that he wasn't on the list last year, he's on the list this year. I did expand the list to get him on the list, but he's on the list this year. So, yeah, 21 for him. At 20, another Capital. Kuznetsov. Kuznetsov was not on the list last year, which, again, I've expanded the list, right? The previous year, I had Kuznetsov at 11. So 2018, I had Kuznetsov at 11. That was the year that they won the Stanley Cup. So Kuznetsov, I do like him. This is part of the reason why you expand your lists. So you're trying to point out you don't necessarily hate somebody by leaving them off the list, right? Why do you hate that? I don't think I hate him. But yeah, Kuznetsov. Solid player. I do think he's ahead of Backstrom now in my eyes in terms of centers around the National Hockey League. And I don't think there's a whole lot lost if it's Kuznetsov feeding the puck over to Ovechkin rather than Backstrom. And that's not a slight on Backstrom. It's not trying to undersell what he's done. It's just I think Kuznetsov's that good. I'm not a huge fan of the bird. I'm not a huge fan of the dancing around and doing the bird thing after the goal, but he's got to do what he does, and it works for him. Number 19. It's hard to measure Jonathan Taves. So Jonathan Taves, last year I had him at 14 on the list. And in 2018, he was not in the top 20. This year I have him at 19. Taves, he had parts of this season where he didn't look that good. And then he had other parts where he looked great. In the return against Edmonton, he showed he could still be a very good center in the NHL. If not for that return against Edmonton, I don't know if I would have him at 19. I think that showed that he still has it. He still has that ability to kind of take over a game. So I have Taves at number 19. And again, I know that Hawks fans are going to want him to be higher up. There's others who may want him to be higher up as well. Number 18. This is tough. It is. This is one of those videos that's like my brain says, couldn't you found something else to do that's less divisive than this? Like, why don't you talk politics? And then my brain goes, wait, what did I just say? Okay, number 18. John Tavares. Tavares, good year this year, not great. We know he can do more. Now, whether that's just from playing in Toronto and Matthews can take the mantle or whatever it is, Tavares just, I didn't think was as effective this year as last year. Last year, I had Tavares at number 6. 2018, I had him at number 10. So 18 is the lowest he's been in the 3 years that I've done the rankings of centers. So again, I know people are gonna probably say, "Oh, he's too low. He's too this, too that." Just wait till you see who's above him. And yeah, I thought Tavares was solid. I've got him ahead of all these guys, but yeah, he doesn't end up finishing higher than that. Number 17. Okay. Number 17. Ryan O'Reilly from St. Louis. Yeah, Ryan O'Reilly from St. Louis. I was debating on where to have him in this list. He was number 12 last year, out of 15, and the year before out of 20, he was not on the list. So 2 years ago, I didn't have him on the list, and it's not a matter of him having a bad year. He's still at 17. I just had other guys ahead of him. You know what you're going to get with O'Reilly. You're always going to end up with less goals than you expect with O'Reilly, but it's fine. He makes it up in solid defensive play, good two-way forward, gentlemanly player as well, doesn't take a ton of stupid penalties, that kind of thing. And so, with O'Reilly, you're going to get an honest effort every night. And so you've got O'Reilly and Schenn. The Blues, I believe, are the second team with two centers, because the Capitals have two centers as well on this list. It's important to have a good 1-2 punch down the middle. So for power rankings, I'll probably do a power ranking of 1-2 punches down the middle. And this list may give some kind of a window into who the likely top-notch options are there. Number 16. So with Tavares off the board, yeah, I don't like doing this. But I didn't think Barkov had a sensational season. So last year I had Barkov at 9. The year prior to that, I had Barkov at 14. Now I have him down at 16. Barkov, and the thing with Barkov too was he wasn't fantastic in the return either. So in that loss against the New York Islanders, he's there. He's a very good center. I like him, but he didn't really take that step. I thought last year he was fantastic. The season that we finished in September, not as good. So I have him at 16. I do hope he bounces back. If Florida's eventually going to make a playoff run, he's going to have to be a major part of that. He simply has to be. So yeah, number 16 is Barkov. Number 15. I think Sean Couturier is likely the best two-way center in the game. Now, that being said, I do have Bergeron higher than him in the list of centers, because Bergeron offensively does more than Couturier does. I don't have Nick Suzuki on this board, but I'm anticipating that next year Nick Suzuki may very well make this list, because that's who I think the top three two-way centers in the game could very well be. O'Reilly may jump into that conversation as well, of course. But Couturier is a very smart player. Just to me, offensively, a little bit behind some of the guys that are ahead of him. If the offense was a little more consistent, and if he was able to put up the solid points night in and night out, then yeah. Not putting anything, saying anything bad about Couturier. He was not in the top 15 last year. He was number 19 in 2018. So, and to me, still, I think he's probably the MVP for the Flyers. Well, the good news is that Carter Hart may end up being their MVP, and that could be huge. Number 14. Stamkos. Now, Stamkos is absolutely fantastic when he's healthy, and that's the key thing. Stamkos only played the one game in the return, the one playoff game where he played 2 minutes. Missed a lot of hockey during the regular season as well. And I don't know. On some level, it's like, okay, so I penalized Tarasenko because we don't know how he's going to be going forward. He was not in the top 20 list for wingers. And to me, Stamkos, is he going to still be elite offensively? We just don't know. And he played well in that 2 minutes he played in the Stanley Cup final. And it was an emotional victory for Tampa Bay and for Stamkos. But yeah, I still have him. I have him at 14. Number 13. And ending out this video. Now Stamkos, just for notice here, Stamkos was number 5 last year and I had Stamkos at number 7 in 2018. Now, in the next spot, I have another forward that's normally much higher. Another center is normally much higher, and that's Mark Scheifele. And Scheifele is always a point-a-game center. He was number 7 on the list last year, number 6 the year before. I just feel at this point there are 12 centers that are ahead of him. Honestly do. And so, yeah. And just looking at those 12, and I go, yeah, that's how that works. I think that's how many elite centers there are in the NHL. That I have 12 ahead of Scheifele, which is, well, it's crazy. But anyways, there you go. 25 through 13 are done. Look for 12 through 1 to get posted soon after this one goes live, because I'm going to do them back to back. I'm not going to wait a day in between. But I did want to split it up into 2 videos. So there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And yes, if I missed the center that you're thinking of from your favorite team, you're right. They're absolutely the best center in the NHL. And thanks for thinking of them. Thanks for watching. I will talk to you again soon.